Look, I know that I'm like in a way better place than I was, a year ago. I actually have something that makes money. I'm super grateful for everything in my life, but I know I'm supposed to do more. In my mind, I didn't know how to think big yet. It was all like baby steps. I was like, dude, if I just get 4 of these, I made $100 grand. I mean, becoming a billionaire I don't want to say it's not that hard, but like the way to get there isn't unknown. Like there's a path to get there. It's like
Ruslan.
Today, I am in Las Vegas with the $20 million man, Ryan Pineda. He has done over 1,000 real estate transactions, owns multiple businesses, and is founder of The Wealthy Way, loves Jesus. And we're going to be talking about kingdom entrepreneurship and how he went from being a professional baseball player to flipping couches and now doing over $20 million a year in revenue. Dude, thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, good to be here, man.
All right, so you got your start in professional baseball.
Yep.
And then you transitioned into flipping couches.
Yeah.
Tell me what it was like playing professional baseball and what skills you acquired to help you kind of transition into the other things you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I got drafted when I was 21 by the Oakland A's. This was back in 2010. And, a lot of people don't know you don't make money when you're playing minor league baseball. I was literally making $7,000 a year playing minor league baseball.
Wow, it was that low.
It was that low. So I didn't want to flip couches and I didn't want to do all the things I did, but you don't really have a choice unless you got a big signing bonus, which I didn't. My signing bonus was like 20 grand.
Okay.
So yeah, I was basically forced into entrepreneurship, not by choice, but out of necessity, because I would go leave 6 months a year to play baseball and I had to go work 6 months to make money. But baseball taught me a lot of lessons. I think the number one thing is discipline and consistency.
Okay.
There's just so many people who aren't disciplined in business and life in general, right? They don't take care of their health. Christians don't read their Bible. They don't have any consistency with their results and they wonder why. And it all kind of stems back to a lack of discipline and just doing the day-to-day things that will lead to your success.
Yeah. So you're playing professional baseball, and this is which level of the leagues?
So, I mean, in 2010, I went to short season. In 2011, I went to low A. In 2012, I went to high A.
Okay.
So that was as high as I got.
And then is it majors?
There's double A, then there's
AA,
triple A, then there's people think there's like 3 levels. There's not. There's like 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you stop playing because the business stuff was becoming more fascinating? Do you think that like the desire to learn more about business was it, or do you think it was just like, dude, you just capped out for where you were at?
I think it was a combination of both. So, I ended up getting released by the Oakland A's after 3 years. And by then I hadn't succeeded in business. I wasn't flipping houses. I wasn't even flipping couches yet. And that was a very depressing time in my life because I had this identity as a baseball player.
Right.
And I was like, man, this is how I'm going to make money and provide for, I was engaged at the time when I got released. And I was like, crap. Is my wife or is my fiance still gonna want to get married? Like there's a lot of things that are changing in my life here. Long story short, I ended up getting released. I got married, and I still continued to play. I played in like what you would, I guess, call semi-professional leagues. I mean, they're still professional. We got paid. I actually made more money over there than I did with the A's.
Really?
Yeah. But
was that stateside, or did you have to go
stateside,
overseas?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. So still stateside. And basically it's called independent baseball.
Okay.
And so it's where guys who have played professional baseball go after they've been released to try and reprove themselves and get signed again. So you did see guys who made it back and then got to the big leagues. So it's not like it was impossible, but the odds were very low. So once I was in independent baseball, I actually played that for 5 seasons. And I kind of knew, I was like, the odds of me getting back are extremely thin. So I'm going to play as long as I can because I just love the game of baseball. I wasn't doing it for money. And I'm going to go try other things on the side. And so eventually, by that 5th season, I was still playing, but I had like 20 house flips going in Vegas.
Wow.
So I was already crushing it, flipping houses, but I was still playing.
Did the house flipping come after the couch flipping?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And at that point in that last year, I was having my worst season, and it just became too stressful. I was like, dude, I can't manage both of these things. And so I did get released that year, and it was actually like a sigh of relief because I didn't want to quit. I was never going to be a quitter.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just was like, yep, I'm ready to go full time.
Wow. So you were sustaining yourself playing while you're flipping houses.
Yeah.
Now, you said you weren't doing any couch flipping when you were playing for the league?
I did. So to step back a few steps, I started flipping couches at the end of 2013 when I got married. And, still playing baseball. I was playing independent baseball. And so probably for about 2 years, I was sustaining myself just flipping couches. And like, I was building that up pretty good. And I was like, man, dude, this is like, we're doing good. Like I go play baseball. We have fun. I flip couches when I'm back. We make good money. Yeah. So like, that was the first time.
How much were you making flipping couches that year? The most you made in a year?
Well, you got to remember, I only did it for 6 months out of the year.
Okay.
So the most I got it up to was $8,000 a month.
Okay.
So
that's great.
Yeah, no, I was making good money, dude. I mean, I probably made about $50,000 a year flipping couches. Then I would go and, play baseball.
That's crazy. You talk about the sign of relief when you got cut. Totally not the same thing or released. But my sophomore year, I got cut from my junior varsity basketball team.
Okay.
And I was the same. My identity was like I was going to be a professional basketball player.
Right.
And then my mom's boyfriend sat me down and told me about genetics. And was like, listen, like there's never been an Armenian that's made it to the NBA, but it's just not in the cards for you, You're
going to have to learn some other skills.
Our people are built for more resilient things like playing chess, But I remember getting cut my sophomore year from junior varsity. People are like, Michael Jordan got cut his sophomore year. He's like, got cut from varsity, all right?
Yeah.
Got cut from JV. And that sign of relief, though. I was like, okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do music now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had that transition
right
into it. And I said, I'm just going to pour all myself into doing music. And it compounded over time and, got to eventually video and YouTube and what I'm doing now.
Hey, thank you so much for subscribing to our newest YouTube channel, Mastermind My Business, the channel where you get access to information on how to create, how to grow, and how to learn. But I wanted to show you something kind of crazy. Over 71% of the people that watch this channel are not subscribed. Please consider subscribing, turning that bell notification on so you don't miss anything. All right? I appreciate you. Peace.
Tell me how you go from flipping couches to flipping houses.
Yeah.
And when do you start seeing some real money? Like, oh, wow, there's something here. Like, how long was that process?
Well, I thought I was making real money flipping couches, right?
Okay.
Like I was like,
$8,000 a month.
Yeah,
it was a lot of money.
Yeah, I was like, I'm killing it. Now, granted, we were still not making money because, like I said, it was only for 6 months, so we had to live off the entire thing for the whole year.
Yep.
But what happened was, and at the end of 2014, we were on our 1-year anniversary. So I'm finishing my first year of marriage, and we go to New Orleans to, just do our 1 year, and we go see Aaron Rodgers play Drew Brees. Mm-hmm. It was fun. And I remember praying, and I was like, God, we're in this crappy hotel. And I'm like, look, I know that I'm like in a way better place than I was, a year ago. Mm-hmm. I actually have something that makes money. I'm super grateful for everything in my life, but I know I'm supposed to do more. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to flip couches my whole life. Mm-hmm. And this baseball thing's probably not going to work out. I'm going to keep playing it as long as they'll let me, but odds are no. What do you want me to do? And literally within the hour, I see this real estate commercial on TV, and it's like, learn how to flip houses with no money and nothing, no credit. And I'm like, that's a scam. And long story short, I felt the Holy Spirit at the time leading me to go look more into it. So I started Googling and stuff, and sure enough, I find these websites, and I'm like, oh, you can actually do this. And so I told my wife, and I was like, hey, we're going to start flipping houses. Like, I was convicted. I had 1,000% faith that was what God was calling me to do. And mind you, we didn't mention this part of the story, but I actually started out as a realtor in 2010 before I started flipping couches because I didn't know about couch flipping or anything. I was like, I'll just be a realtor and sell houses. I sucked. I was a terrible realtor. And so when God said real estate, I was like,
yeah, I already failed at that.
Yeah, that's not it.
Yeah.
And so anyways, I felt conviction, lots of different signs and confirmation that that was supposed to be it. And so we go back to Vegas, and I'm still flipping couches at the time. That's our income. But, you know, it's like November now. And I'm like, okay, I am going to find a deal and learn this business. And so for the next, call it 2.5 months, all I did was flip couches, consume podcasts during my deliveries and pickups. I read every book I could on house flipping, and I found a deal. Found a deal in February of 2015, and I didn't have all the money, so I ended up maxing out my credit cards and bought that first flip. And sure enough,
do you remember what that cost you the first?
Yeah.
First?
So that house was. I found it in February, went into contract. I bought it like early March. It was $99,000, 205 View Drive for anyone who wants to look it up. Bought it for $99,000. Ended up selling it in 53 days for $135,000.
That's good.
And I ended up making about $25,000.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a big, That's great, man.
Yeah.
How'd that feel?
It was the most money I ever seen in like a chunk.
Yep.
Like I just remember, I mean, from start to idea to conception, it was about, 4 or 5 months of like, man, I made 25. What if I just did this every month? Like that's where my mind went of like, dude, I could find deals.
And was that a wholesale or just a regular
That was a flip.
Just a full-on flip. So house is a little worn
It actually
down?
didn't even need much.
It didn't even need
It was
much.
just a good deal.
So you just bought it and held it.
Well, I didn't hold it. I
Well,
bought
I
it.
mean, bought it and flipped it. Yeah.
I bought it. I put about $1,500 into like fixing up some little things, and I put it on the market literally like 3 days later.
You did it yourself, or did you
No,
have
I
somebody
hired a
help you?
guy. I still don't know how to do anything.
Yeah, okay. That's good. I don't know how to do anything either.
Yeah.
I always have a guy come by the house and do
Oh,
stuff. How do you go from that first flip? How do you go from that to where you're at now? I think that in between is tricky for people.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, man, is you can look, you make $25,000, it's life-changing. And in my mind, I didn't know how to think big yet. It was all like baby steps. I was like, dude, if I just get 4 of these, I made $100,000. I was like, I can get 4 of these. That's easy. And, I did that. I ended up buying 5 that year. They all didn't sell, but, I knew that those 5 were going to equate to $100,000 whenever they sold. I go into year 2 and I buy 20. And, all of them, not all of them sell, but like, however
At
many
this point, you're
sold.
not maxing out your credit cards anymore.
No, I was still.
You were still maxing out your credit cards.
Yeah, because
respect.
You're always investing into the next deal. So the way I looked at it was, well, I could pay my credit cards off.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I had 0%. So I had 0% for like 18 months.
Got
so
it.
I was like, I'm going to just keep it maxed out
Wow.
for 18 months no matter what.
Yep.
Right. But even after the 18 months, I just looked at it like a math equation. And I was like, well, I'm paying 18% interest on this. So that's like 1.5% a month. Okay. So it's costing me $400, $500 to borrow against this card, but it's going to make me, $30,000 on this next deal. Like, why wouldn't I do it? It's just a cost of doing business.
Interesting.
So I kept my credit cards maxed out for a long time.
Wow.
Because it just made sense financially. But anyways, that second year I ended up making $200,000. So it was the first year I'd ever made 6 figures. And I mean, I was like 26 or 27 years old. And it was life-changing, man. It was like, wow, I could do this the rest of my life. But even then, it's not like I started out as this guy who's thinking, oh, I'm going to go be a millionaire, or I'm going to be worth 10 million or 100 million or $1 billion. I was like, one thing at a time. Like, what's the goal this year that I can see that I can hit? And, the 200K gave me confidence to go after a bigger goal. And I was like, dude, next year, 50 flips. We can go from 20 to 50. Let's do it. And then we did it. Next year, I'm like, okay, 50. Let's get to 100.
Wow.
Right?
And this is just you, or you have a team at this point when you're going for 100?
So with the 50, it was just me and one other guy.
Okay.
When I went to the 100, I retired from baseball. Okay. So I was full-time for the first time in my life.
Come on.
This was in 2018. And I was like, all right, well, now that I don't play baseball and I'm, doing good, let's get an office. Let's hire some people. Like, let's do this legit. Let's build a brand. And so I created Home Run Offer, which is still our house flipping company today. And that year we did 150 deals, made $2 million.
Come on.
So, wasn't on social media or anything.
Yep.
It was just, I was dead focused on becoming the best house flipper in Las Vegas. That was my goal.
Yep.
So like things have changed. Like as you have more success, you're like, okay, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? And then, today, obviously we have a lot of businesses. We still flip houses. We buy rental properties. We do funds. We do all these different things. And I'm always thinking, what's the next level, right? And so it's like, man, now that I've gone through just these different levels, I'm like, yeah, I mean, becoming a billionaire I don't want to say it's not that hard, but like the way to get there isn't unknown. Like there's a path to get there. It's like the same thing with flipping a house. Flipping a house isn't that hard. You buy it low, you fix it up, you sell it for high. It's just doing it that's hard, right? How do you find that deal? How do you make sure you fix it? How did you evaluate? Like, so there is a lot that goes into it, right? The same thing is true with becoming a billionaire. It's like, I can see multiple paths. We talked about Mr. Beast. You could build influence and create a great product around it. You could look at all these tech billionaires. You could look at crypto guys. You could look at real estate guys. Like, there's lots of paths to get there.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of what path you want to take, and it's just time.
Yeah.
It's taking the right path and strategy and time.
Enough of the right inputs.
Yep.
Patience. And doing it the right thing over and over again. It sounds like it's working out. That's amazing. Now,
hey, if you want to see the extended version of this podcast, completely unedited, consider partnering with us in our online community for as little as $5 a month. In exchange, you get access to these podcasts as we stream them live before anyone else gets to see them. You get access to the replay of our daily after party streams, access to our private Discord server, access to discount codes, and so much more. So help us continue contextualizing the gospel through media, podcasting, and YouTube, and partner with us for as little as $5 a month. Also, be sure to follow us on the Spotify podcast app, on Facebook, and on Instagram. We're constantly posting content there that I think you'll find extremely valuable. All right? I'll see you over there. Peace.